Good morning. At this time, please remain standing as the Essex High School Junior ROTC will present the colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would invite the senior chamber choir singers to come forward to sing the national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets bubbles bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. I'm Kyle Murdoch, the Student Government President. Welcome parents, family, teachers, faculty, and the Essex High School graduating class of 2008. This is a group of scholars, musicians, athletes, artists, and individuals with many talents who have matured as a class and are well prepared to become productive members of our community. Our parents, family, and the faculty and staff of Essex High School have guided all of us to this point in our lives, and it is now time to take all the knowledge and experience that we have gained to make a positive difference in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. At this point in our program, we would like to start with our student speakers. Our first speaker this morning will be Essex High School Class of 2008 salutatorian, Hannah Young.
Parents, friends, relatives, teachers, and my fellow students, welcome. There are so many things that I could share this morning, so many memories we've gathered over the years of classes, of sports, of concerts and after-school clubs, and just plain hanging out. But as I pondered these memories, I found myself looking only backward and not forward. And today is a day to look both backward and forward. We have learned so much over the past 4 years, but it is what we do with that knowledge that will help us as we enter college and our futures. Really, high school is about building a foundation. It is what we have learned here in these halls and these homes and this community that will give us the base we need to carry on in our lives. And we have been given, in these 4 years, so much material for building a foundation. First, there is all that we have learned within the walls of Essex High School. We have learned how to be good leaders, and good followers, and good friends. We have learned how to be good winners, and good losers. We have learned that the Odyssey is not the longest book in the history of the world. The Grapes of Wrath is. We have learned more dates, formulas, definitions, and verb tenses than we will ever remember. We have learned that good teachers also make good friends and mentors. And we have learned that no matter what you want to do, there is a course at the Tech Center that will teach you how to do it. Then, there's everything we have learned outside of school, from our families and from our community. We have learned how to keep a job when we really don't have the time to. We have learned that the experience of volunteering is worth every minute we put into it. We have learned that our parents really do want what's best for us. We just disagree sometimes on what that is. And we have learned that no matter how much we fight with our siblings right now, we will miss them when we leave. So it is important, as we look to the future, knowing all this, for us to determine what our own foundation is, what it is that we stand on. There are those of us who will find that we stand on our academic success and our intelligence. These things become the most important things in our lives. We have all been taught well at Essex High School, so all of us have a good academic base. But to some of us, academics will take on an even greater importance. Then, there are those of us who will find our foundation in athletics. Some of us will make it our life's goal to pursue a certain sport and will work tirelessly to achieve that goal. Some of us will discover that our foundation lies in relationships, friendships, dating, interacting with other people. These things become the most important in our lives. For others of us, our foundation will lie in career aspirations. We will pursue our dream career with a passion, whether through furthering our education or through jumping in right from high school. Either way, the pursuit of that career will become the focal point of our lives. And then, there are those of us who will build our foundation on our faith. We all choose to put our faith in many different things. For myself, I started high school thinking that I had a solid foundation, putting my faith in myself and the things I wanted to accomplish. But the things I was building on, like academic success and the praise of other people, never gave me the fulfillment I thought they would. But since last year, I have found that my faith in Jesus Christ, who died and rose again to save me from my sins and give me eternal life with him in heaven, has been the surest foundation of all. So, as we, the class of 2008, look to our futures, let us carefully consider the foundation on which we will build the rest of our lives. We have been given good materials, but let us be sure that our foundation is one that will not leave us empty when we come to the end and look back at all that we have done. Let us strive to build on a solid foundation. To our families, friends, teachers, and members of our community, thank you for being a part of our foundation. To my fellow students of the class of 2008, congratulations. And our next speaker is the co-valedictorian, Emily Hsu.
I just got a really, really bad haircut. In fact, I think it is safe to say that it is the worst haircut in the entire history of haircutting. Yes, this haircut. I've been told it's not too awful, unless you consider that when I went into the salon, my hair was a good 8 inches longer, and that I asked for a trim only. But in the end, this monstrosity of cut and style has been quite useful to me, not least in providing the material for this speech. I have realized, in fact, that this entire situation is rather like high school. That's not to say that I'm applying a botched haircut as a metaphor for these 4 undeniably crucial years of our lives, though some people might find the comparison fitting. No, let me just say that even in the unlikeliest of situations, the things these 4 years have taught all of us, both in school and out, can and will come into play. So what has this haircut shown me, not including the crucial life lesson to be wary of questionably reputable basement salons in the Montreal Chinatown offering $15 bargain haircuts? Well, first and foremost, I had to put several aspects of my EHS education to good use. In order to explain what I wanted, which, let me remind you, was a trim only, I dug into all of those French classes in order to ask in 3 different languages, none of which my barber seemed to understand particularly well, how to get a trim. Let me also say that it's quite difficult to translate the concept of bangs into French and Chinese, and that it involved a great deal of exaggerated hand gestures and circumlocution, another skill I learned from 4 years of semi-improvised presentations. I had to use my math skills to do some quick standard English to metric conversions while trying to fend off a scissors happy stylist and perhaps save a few inches, that's 7.6 centimeters, by the way, of my hair. And I put all of my web surfing procrastination to good use, because how else would I have explained the Katie Holmes bob? And who would have thought that all those instances of finding out a paper that I thought was due next week was really due next period would be helpful? It turns out that, in addition to bankrolling the careers of future cardiologists, such lovely and quintessential aspects of high school life are actually quite useful in learning how to improvise. When the barber's first attempts resulted in an abomination of styling gel and flat iron, I only panicked for a little while before trying to find a solution. I also seem to have learned from all those mornings of trying to wheedle my way into my 1-2 class after the bell, as I was able to convince the barber to fix my hair with no extra charge. I was even able to block out the French-Canadian woman screaming in broken English about a touch-up in the adjacent chair as I tried to lessen the damage, which was really no different than concentrating on finishing a test while some freshmen run yelling through the hallway. And so, the end result is what you see here. I never said that all those high school acquired skills were always effective, though they probably helped me make the best of a very bad situation this time. And I remembered enough chemistry to feel guilty about all the ozone destroyed by the CFCs and the vast amounts of hairspray I had to use to get my hair even looking like this. But above all, more so than all the math and foreign languages and study skills, the one thing high school surely universally teaches is that life isn't perfect, but also that it always moves on. Surely all of my classmates have experienced such a disappointment at some point in their high school careers. Disappointments like not getting a class you really wanted, failing a test, getting cut from a sports team, getting cut from the orchestra, and much, much bigger things, like the loss of a friend, a teacher, a family member. In all, a bad haircut is really only a small problem, even in the grand scheme of high school, and much smaller in the scheme of life. We can adapt, mitigate, accept, and move on, and this applies to more situations than haircuts. High school taught us all something about academics and friendship, while just giving us a taste of the real world, whether we learned these lessons in the classrooms of Essex High School, or perhaps more importantly, outside of them. And just as high school has taught us to move on, we are now ready to move on from high school. The future, whatever our plans may be, stretches out in front of us all, a long, difficult, glorious path that certainly will include its share of haircuts, some great and others astoundingly horrendous, that we can celebrate or overcome as the situation requires. But just as we've fumbled and stumbled and ultimately grown our way through high school, we can work our way through what's to come, slipping sometimes and making it up along the way, but getting there in the end and learning something from our efforts. It won't be easy, surely, but neither was high school. So when you encounter the bad haircuts of life, think of Essex High School. Think of the trying times, but also think of the good ones. And always remember, we made it, class of 2008, through these 4 wonderful, terrible, informative, and undeniably formative years. We might not know what's coming, and we might be both excited and terrified, but after all that, we're certainly ready to move forward. And our next speaker is co-valedictorian Kayla LeBlanc.
Many years ago, a group of very bright individuals was born into existence. Everyone realized that the 1990 children were special, as each child gleamed with uniqueness from the top of their shiny bald heads to the tips of their tiny baby toes. Parents, relatives, and neighbors alike gathered to gander. Since these were extraordinary babies, they grew very quickly. Soon enough, their heads were covered in a thick nest of hair, and they began to waddle around, exploring their world. They developed the ability to express discontent, generally at being hungry, tired, or wet in the lower region. And as they investigated their surroundings, they made some interesting discoveries. At first, they were fascinated by the simple things, like spiders and worms. The boys enjoyed pulling legs off daddy long legs, while the girls yelled for their own daddies to dispose of these innocuous creatures. Eventually, they grew a taste for bigger, better things, like playing skip it on a hot driveway or collecting Pogs, the wonderful toy that did absolutely nothing. They played in the sand with Tonka trucks, built space shuttles with Legos, and played with Barbie's little sister Kelly, who could use the ladies' room all by herself. They read books like The Mitten and Where the Wild Things Are. And they also discovered the modern-day miracle of television. At first, they couldn't get enough of their beloved Barney, the super-de-duper purple dinosaur. But eventually, they moved on to more intellectually stimulating shows, like Rugrats and Doug. Every kid wanted to be one of the babies on Rugrats, and they all wanted to help Doug defeat Roger and gain the courage to ask out Patty Mayonnaise. Their next adventure was heading off to school, either crying at the prospect of leaving Mommy Dearest or being excited at having a class full of kids their own age to play with. It was in school they learned the wonders of science through Bill Nye the Science Guy, as he exploded volcanoes, projected bowling balls at his own face, and singed his eyebrows with crazy chemistry experiments. And of course, there was Ms. Frizzle and her magic school bus gang that had everyone enjoying science. They continued their learning in after-school activities too. Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, or T-ball and soccer, taught them a thing or two about themselves, like how they deal with camping in the great outdoors and how competitive they are. But the day Beanie Babies hit the scene was a day like no other. The children endlessly harassed their parents to buy them the newest version of plush animal filled with bean. It was madness. The way they felt about Pokemon rivaled this, however. These imaginary fighting monsters were a triple threat, with their card, show, and game. The kids were constantly in trouble for trading cards at school. But at least the children weren't solely obsessed with Pokemon and Beanie Babies. They had the musical stylings of the Spice Girls, Britney Spears, and the Backstreet Boys to distract them, because there ain't no party like a Backstreet party. And then there were the Tamagotchis, the handheld digital pets that beeped if you forgot to feed them, and the even more annoying Furbies that would yell at you in the middle of the night if they were hungry or wanted to play. These toys captivated the children and terrorized their parents. As they grew older, politics became more important to them. The not-so-young children watched as Bill Clinton was accused of having an affair with Monica Lewinsky. Even though they may not have understood exactly what had happened, they still discussed it and were slightly ashamed of their president. On September 11, 2001, their country fared even worse. The stunned sixth graders watched the news silently as the Twin Towers were reduced to a pile of rubble. Most of them still remember exactly where they were and what they were doing when they found out what had happened. This event sparked a war on terrorism, and more significantly to them today, a long war in Iraq. And whether those children realized it or not, these events began to end their childhood. While they still get kicks from playing games like Dance Dance Revolution, wearing skinny jeans, and watching shows on MTV like Pimp My Ride and The Hills, they've begun to consider the world more seriously. They have watched a movement toward being green as the environment becomes more important. They have watched the national debt rise to over $9 trillion. and in just a few months, most of them will be able to vote and hopefully make a difference. So as these children graduate from high school and scatter into the wide world beyond the walls of EHS, I advise them to make their lives worthwhile. Up until now, they've spent their lives focusing on the things that they have considered important, whether that be Thomas the Tank Engine or Harry Potter. Now that they are older, they should draw from the lessons they learned as kids. They should still focus on the things that are important to them. These will just be more significant things, because they will carry more responsibility and be more important people in the world. They should still laugh at least once a day, but make sure to think about where their life is headed, whether this is college or work, getting married, having kids, or traveling. They should still think about themselves, but also realize that they mean the world to someone else and care for their loved ones as well. But, like I said, the 1990 babies were an extraordinary bunch, so the world's awaiting great things from them.
It's my privilege to introduce to you now Judith Kurtz, English teacher at Essex High School, the class of 2008. Have asked her to give a message to the graduating class.
Good morning. As Mr. Reardon said, my name is Judith Kurtz, and I am an English teacher at EHS. I am sincerely honored to have been invited to speak today, so thank you, students, for giving me this opportunity. I know that we have come here to celebrate, and you have indeed earned a celebration. Each of you should feel inside the welling of pride that comes to us in those rare moments when we realize we have truly accomplished something great. And each of you has accomplished something great. You deserve this celebration. Celebration. Yeah. But I also have some hard truth to deliver today. No matter what you do, and no matter how well you do it, there will always be someone better than you. Always. No matter how committed you are to a task, no matter how passionately you believe in the good or the truth of your goal, there will always be someone to speak out against you or to stand in your way. Always. No matter how singular your success is, there will always be a questioning within you about whether you can or should be doing something different. Yet, no matter how powerful the challenges, no matter how compelling the arguments or criticisms, no matter how persistent your own self-doubt, nothing can diminish the value of what you do if only you believe fully in your purpose. Always. Your work, whatever it may be, will always have value if you can believe in its importance, if you can know deep in your being that your efforts have meaning. And I mean this about everything, every single pursuit, large or small. It doesn't matter the scale or scope. Simply believe that whatever you put your hands or your mind or your heart to is worth doing, and do it with the pride that accompanies such a belief. Believe that you matter. You've probably heard something similar before, and it's not because those of us who speak at such events all use the same Google search to find speeches.com. an absolutely terrible website, by the way. It offered me nothing useful for today. Rather, it is because these words hold some valuable truth that bear repeating, because while they are immensely easy to say, they are incredibly difficult to live. You cannot base your life and your sense of success on outside sources, because if you do, you will be left to a long life of disheartening comparisons. You cannot base your sense of what is meaningful on the opinions of those around you, because when you are challenged, only the truth that resides within you can be the source of your strength. Supporters and naysayers come and go. True friends will remain, but even among those nearest to us, there can always be differences. This is why you must learn to trust yourselves. Some of you may already know what I'm talking about. Life is indiscriminate in handing out heartache. Some of you have already faced poverty, loss, or personal crises. You may already know that your greatest strength comes from within. As you move on from EHS, you have within you all that you need to find your direction and your purpose. You may not have heard your inner voice yet, or you may have been listening to it for a very long time. Some of us hear it when we are young and then very quickly bury it under a steady stream of ought tos and shoulds. Some of us begin to believe that the voice inside us is not cool enough, or is wrong, or is just plain worthless. But the voice never leaves us. Some of us just need to start listening to it again. And that is what I encourage you to do. Find the truth that resides within you and never, never let anyone silence it. Because as it turns out, the voice within us is not really a single voice at all, but the voice of an entire community, bearing the sentiments of all those who have taught us, offered us wisdom, and shown us love. I think that when someone tells us something that is good advice, somewhere inside we know it is true and we want to listen to it. Now, some of us on occasion, myself included, hear this advice and do the dumb thing that we were going to do anyway. Right? We don't mean to be foolish. We just are. And that's the way it goes. But sometimes, we can avoid some of our mistakes by really carefully listening to that which is within each of us. And maybe, just maybe, we will be a little bit happier, a little bit sooner. I'm not so old that I forget being where you are. And I remember quite vividly the years between my own high school graduation and today. And I promise you that the most valuable lesson I have learned, and boy, did I learn it the hard way, was to trust myself and to believe in the value of what I do. And I can promise you that I am much, much happier for this belief. As I look out on your faces, I am overcome with the same feeling I get every year on the first day of school. A feeling of vast opportunity, an overwhelming belief in the good of the world and of each individual's importance on this planet. I want to thank you in advance for each of your offerings to our human race. I want to tell you that all of us here today, parents, families, community members, teachers, coaches, mentors, administrators, friends, all of us appreciate what you, each of you, will do. And we believe that this world will be better for it. Thank you. Congratulations. Have a wonderful day.
Up next on the program, Essex High School Guidance Director Michelle Rath, in terms of the recognition of international students.
It is my honor to recognize the international students of the class of 2008. I would ask the following Essex High School class of 2008 students to please rise when I call their name. Nicola Anderson, born in Germany, raised in Scotland. Nadim Bajrovic, born in Bosnia. Chaz Cao, born in Saigon, Vietnam. Janana Dobraka, born in Bosnia. Rusmir Zanko, born in Bosnia. Selma Habib, born in Bosnia. Ur Inanç, born in Turkey. Eldiana Kukovica, born in Bosnia. Mun Nguyen, born in Saigon, Vietnam. Tu Nguyen, born in Saigon, Vietnam. Romina Pambuco, born in Bosnia. Alen Turan, born in Bosnia.
Class marshals, if you would please. Next will be the presentation of diplomas and awards.
Are we ready? You ready?
I think so.
Emily Elizabeth Hebert. Michael Patrick Abbott. Graham J.T. Ahokas. Jessica Catherine Aldrich. Samantha Emily Allen, the North Country Federal Credit Union Scholarship. Nathan Alexander Amato, the Trout Unlimited William Sloat Memorial Scholarship. Nicola Ramsey Anderson. Sean Daniel Bashand. Andrew Mark Baglini, Michigan State University Scholarship. Lauren Mackenzie D.K. Bailey. Nadim Birovich. Percy Naquanta Bisa Bannerman. Brett Barright. Jordan Thomas Barnes. Brianna Lynn Barney. Benjamin John Basilier. Susanna Grace Badig. Alyssa Lee Bean. Megan Emilia Boscheman. Andrew Johnston Beebe. Vedran Beganovich. William Edward L. Bagley, Davidson College Scholarship. Alexander Cleary Bergeron. Christopher M. Bernier. Adam Charles Bizayo. Samantha L. B.A. Aubrey Christine Billings. Veronica L. Bills. Tabitha Gail Bissonette. Kayla Nicole Bittner, Keene State College Scholarship. Eliza Eve Blanchard. Jensen O'Neill Bodden. Nicholas Wells Booth. Tejas L. Borse. Jeffrey Scott Batula. Lauren Michelle Bronig, Kent State University Scholarship. Stephen M. Brown, Jr. Miranda Ann Bruger. Ryan James Bullis, Essex Junction Lions Club Award. Gregory Scott Caldwell. Nathan Allen Cameron. Ryan Mark Cameron. Chaz Gao. Erica Capicella. Christopher Joseph Carlos. Stephen Ryan Carney. Elizabeth A. Karen, University of Vermont Scholarship. Timothy Kearns Carpenter, the Kate Currier Memorial Scholarship. Lynette Carol Serta. Jordan I. Chamberlain. Certainly. Let's see it, Jordan. Jonathan Andrew Chapman. Nicholas Arthur Cheney, University of Vermont Scholarship. Michael Dominic Cianci. Catherine Jennifer Chaffee, the Gene Robinson Scholarship and Endicott College. Ethan M. Clark, the Friends of Football, Essex Football Award, and the Kimberly T. Willie Memorial Scholarship. Casey Marie Claude, Elan University Scholarship. Tyler J. Kofelice. Amy Lynn Coleman. Brennan Fitzgerald Collins. Dana Beverly Corcoran. Caitlin Nicole Cordner, F&S Hackett Scholarship and the Vermont Next Generation Scholarship. Michael Andrew Kuchar. Alexander Robert Craven. Seth Melvin Cronin. Meta Thomas Kraus. Megan M. Crowley. Brian Walter Creighton Cruschetti. Keith David DaCosta. Alexander James Dahlgren. Laura Mary Daniel. Jonathan L. Dow. Ryan Michael DiTilio. Matthew Edward David. Lydia Ann Davison. Matthew Edward DeCapua. Jared Hiram Delaney. Jennifer Lee Delabeck, Essex Junction Lions Club Award. Abby Cagle DeRushy, the Yearbook Enterprise Scholarship and University of Vermont Scholarship. Samantha G. Dickey. Brian Christopher Dickinson. Peter Noon Dietrich. Andrew Dyke. Janana Dubraka. Elliot James Doe. Robin Renee Doney. Emily Elizabeth Douliard. Christopher Kent Dramstad, University of Vermont Scholarship. Alicia Ryan Drury. Matthew Brian Doobie, Friends of Essex Football Award and the VSAC Vermont Honor Scholarship. Morgan Marie Doobie. Edward Ben Duff, St. Michael's College Scholarship. Daniel Elwin Dyke. Rushmir Janko. Stephanie Rose Ide. Christopher Nicholas Elliott. Chris Francis Ellis. Anthony T. Farmer. Brendan Patrick Farmer. Zachary Farnham Haskell. Andrew Thomas Four. Catherine Ann Four. Addison Sutton Fay, University of South Carolina Scholarship. Ashley Marie Fay. Gregory Nathan Fay. David James Farrow. Joseph Douglas Finch, Drexel University Scholarship. Christopher D. Fleury, Essex Classical Institute Award. Tyler Joseph Fortune. Heather Sandra Fossey. Alexander Philip Francino. Tanya Lee Frank. Katie Marie Fry. Hillary S. Frink. Lauren Tresalt Fulton. Danielle R. Gadwa. Melissa C. Gaffney. Manpreet Kaur Gahir. Darren J. Gardner. Michelle Lynn Gardner. Keela May Gendron. Rachel Piri Gerdeman. Kevin Robert Goddard. Kayla Ray Golnazarian. Dawn Marie Good. Lauren Nicole Kozlowski Goodnow. Jared Andrew Goodrich. Joshua Randall Goodrich. Sarah Jane Gove. Trishna Govil. David Anthony Granado. Courtney Shea Green. Nicholas Monroe Guest. Erica Marie Hagan. Tamara Medora Hall. Kylie Elizabeth Halpin. Alyssa Madeline Harame. Danielle Lee Hardy, the Essex Classical Institute Award and Colby Sawyer College Scholarship. Gordon James Harlow. Sarah Marguerite Harmon, NEACAC Essay Contest Scholarship and the VSAC Vermont Honors Scholarship. Christopher Hart. Alma Rebecca Hartman, the Vermont Next Generation Scholarship and the University of Vermont Scholarship. Ellen He. Selma Habib, the Essex Classical Institute Award. Tyler Daniel Heffernan. Chelsea Hallett Henderson, Essex Firefighters Association Scholarship. Bridget Caitlin Hennessy. Shannon Tara Hennessy. Sarah Kathleen Hill, University of Vermont Scholarship. Martha G. Herka. Erin Jane Hale, the Yearbook Enterprise Scholarship. Tessa Lynn Hunter. Nathan Adam Hutchins. Inanch. Jessica Lynn Ingalls. Brian Lewis Gilson Jr. Danielle M. Joyce. Stephen Edward Jernak. Samuel Hyunmuk Gong. Christina Marie Carl. Catherine Rita Kearns, the Betty Fay Memorial Scholarship, the National Science Foundation STEM Grant, and the Clarkson University Scholarship. William Winslow Kent. Too fast. Christina M. Kenyon. Brandon J. Keft, the Green Mountain Athletic Association Scholarship and Rensselaer Polytech Institute Scholarship. Courtney Marie May Kilcollins. Amanda Lynn King. Daniel James King. Kenneth M. King. Robert James Cocham. Hannah Lang Kohler. Christian Konzel. Kayla Marie Kraus, the Katie Courier Memorial Scholarship. Catherine Ann Krug. Aldiana Kukovica. Allison Ann LaCroix, Thomas J. Watson Memorial Scholarship. Kevin Michael LaForce. Danara Jean Lamont. Elliot Thor Laja. Sylvana O'Neill Lane. Going all right? Leanne Helene LaPierre. Matthew J. Lasco. Michael Joshua Lawrence. Abigail Elaine Lawyer, LaSalle University Scholarship. Kayla Marie LeBlanc, University of Vermont Scholarship. Ben Adam Labria. Brittany Marie LeClaire. Benjamin Eugene Lemaire. Alexander G. Lenz. Andrew J. Letourneau. Alexander Julian Levy. Nicole Marie Liberty. Catherine Mackenzie Leica. Morgan April Liliadal. Abby Brooke Loranger. Joseph Carl Loeffner. Seth Knight Lunn. Caitlin M. Mack, University of Rochester Scholarship. Kelsey Dana Mack. Kyle Timothy Mack. Raphael G. Magre. Nicholas David Maish. Peter J. Malley, Montana State University Scholarship. Samuel Bruce Bugby Manna. Andrew James Marcotte. Jessica Ann Marriott. Leah Catherine Marvin Riley, Essex Rotary Club Scholarship, the Vermont Next Generation Scholarship, and University of Vermont Scholarship. Marissa Mayette. Shannon Lynn Maynard. Joseph William McClintock. Deborah McGee. Katie Marie McGee. Kyle Anthony McGregor. Christina Ann McGuire. Michael Daniel McIntyre. Niall C. McMahon. Christopher Doran McNally Anderson, the Essex Classical Institute Award, the NEACAC Essex Contest Scholarship. Jordan Michael McNanny. Kara Michelle McSoley. Hans Eric Mertens, Shepherd University Scholarship. Colby S. Minier. Michael Douglas Millette. Nicole Amanda Mills. Joshua Michael Mitchell. Joshua Robert Mitchell. Derek George Moffett. Allison Lee Moody. Hannah Ray Moret, Liberty University Scholarship. Kelly Jean Morell. Erin Hazel Morse, Southern New Hampshire University Scholarship. Kirsten Elizabeth Muckstadt. Joshua Paul Muir. Laura Lee Mulheron. Kyle Cassidy Murdoch. Brianna Caitlin Murphy. Kathleen McNeish Murphy. Kelsey Lauren Murtha. Lindsay O'Hara Murtha. Brendan Joseph Neal. Anna Catherine Neal, Freeman Nurse Scholarship Program Award and the University of Vermont Scholarship. Hank Kin Ing, National Merit Scholarship finalist, Thomas J. Watson Memorial Scholarship and University of Connecticut Scholarship. Min Duck Nguyen. Thu An Nguyen, Goss Dodge Scholarship. David Tomas Nicasio. Gabriel Ian Abel Nicasio. Adam Nelson Norton. Taylor Nicole Norton, University of Vermont Scholarship. Michael Frederick O'Brien. Lisa Nicole O'Grady. Cullen Bernard O'Neill. Kaylee M. Orr. Samantha Eleanor Owens. Romina Pambuku. Stephanie E. Pan. Mitchell Scott Panton. Jordan N. Parent. Caitlin M. Parks. Abigail Rose Parmenter. Gwen Marie Pastel. Abigail Jeanette Pastor. Corey R. Peya. Benjamin Dean Pearl. Christian Tyler Peckham. Jamie Marie Pecor. Sarah Ann Pellerin. Christiana Rose Pepin. Kyle Robert Perline. Scott Thomas Pfeiffer. Philip Plouffe. Dylan James Plumley. Emily Marie Pratt, St. Michael's College Scholarship. Alexis Lauren Purdy. Catherine Marie Ramsey. Kyle Umberto Reed. Autumn Starr Riley. Robert A. Renicky. Andrew John Reynolds. Heather Jean Rice. Heidi J. Rickus. Wesley Roberts. Stephanie Page Rock. Elizabeth Noonan Rose. Timothy Michael Rose. Best Buy Children's Foundation Scholarship, Knights of Columbus Scholarship, Essex Junction Firefighters Scholarship, Thomas J. Watson Memorial Scholarship, and Stonehill College Scholarship. Marielle Renee Russo, Stowe Theater Guild Scholarship. Linan Ruida. Nicholas Pierce Rundle. District 3 Chorus Scholarship and the University Singers Scholarship. Adam James Rooney. Matthew David Saladin. Ryan C. Senetra, University of Massachusetts Amherst Scholarship. Luke Macy Sansone. Candace Nicole Sargis. Rebecca Elise Sauer Davis. Mia Christina Schultz, the Essex Classical Institute Award. Haley Victoria Schumacher. Jacob Maximilian Selig. Merton Sells. Emma Elizabeth Sikolowski. Sean Seaman. Emily Margaret Smith. Eric Michael Smith. Kai T. Smith. Paulina K. Smolinski. Ian Andrew Snap. Katie Lynn Snelling. Sarah E. Snow. Chadwick A. Sheets. Patrick Sheets. Phoebe Gerard Spencer. Jessica Lynn St. Louis. Matthew Gordon Stewart. Vanessa R. Strackbein. Nathaniel Robert Stroop. Alexandra Demetra Sturgis. Julia Eden Sturgis. Cheryl Christine Sudol. Amy Lynn Sutton. Brandon W. Sweet. Joshua Taher Blanchard. Jamie Tam. Christopher N. Tardy. Rebecca Ann Tarter. Caitlin Margaret Teagarden. Amanda June Teball. Jacqueline Lemaire Thomas. Michael Stephen Thomas. April Elizabeth Thompson, the Carolyn Jane Barra Scholarship and Rollins College Scholarship. Aaron Adler Thompson. Amanda Lee Town. Spatch Angela Beth Tran. Stephen J. Trombley. Joshua Trudeau. Kyle Shannon Trudeau. Hélène Turan. Abigail Louise Turcott. Megan Lee Turner. James Archibald Turvey. The Voice of Democracy Essay Scholarship. Crystal L. Toure. Kyle Edward Toure. Charles John Timon III. Christopher R. Virun. Sean Robert Wagner, Norwich University Scholarship. Bridget Downey Walsh. Zena Berry Ward, the Essex Classical Institute Award. Michael Paul Watson. Laura Elizabeth Weber. Kristen Malloy Weishadel. Leanne Caroline Weld. Brittany Lee Wells. James Pierce Wells, Hofstra University Scholarship. Matthew Joseph White. Samuel J. Willard. Bradley David Williams. Brendan Williams. Benjamin Edward Willis. Emma J. Walcott. Abigail Wood. Kyle Patrick Wood. Bradley Michael Woods. Nathan Shad Woodworth. Emily Y. Shu. The Essex Classical Institute Award, the Siemens Award for Advanced Placement. Marianne Amanda Yandow. Hannah Claire Young. Andrew Fournier. Oh, they want me to. They want me to.
Yeah, you'll do that.
You're going to do the. Who's going to do the tassel? I am. After they stand up.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to have them do it now?
Just wait.
Now?
Yep.
Class, change your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present the Essex High School graduated class of 2008. Don't throw your caps. Didn't see any beach balls this year.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I only missed a couple. I look at those names, I read them over and over, and you get right there and you go,
Congratulations, graduates, and a special thanks to this senior class for their kind donation to me. I'll need the IRS is going to be after me now. Thank you, class of 2008. RETN, shut the cameras off.
that was heads up. Good luck.
We now will proceed with the recessional.